Hello everyone and welcome back to Project Ozone Reloaded Titan Mode. You're watching episode 29. I have expanded my fluid production and processing just a little bit between episodes, and I moved the oil production down here. It's a little bit more of a compact arrangement, and it is now filling tanks. So oil comes in down here in full resonant portable tanks, and looks like diesel and kerosene and gasoline and a small amount of LPG come out. And I'm not sure that it's been running long enough yet to have filled any of those tanks, least of all the LPG. Because right now I am using the LPG to fuel the liquid compressors over here. I decided to go ahead and do it that way because really LPG is only used for plastic as far as I know, and it can't be refined back into gasoline or anything of that nature. Really, I don't think this is the best oil processing setup to use if you're going oil to gasoline. I think I'd be far better off just using Buildcraft refineries for that. However, I had it already and I wanted to set it up, and in some cases I'm setting up machines that I don't need or that aren't necessarily the most optimal, just to sort of get them set up and showcase them a little bit down here. So the other big apparatus down here, I had previously shown you the electrolytic separator generating oxygen and hydrogen. And I actually am accumulating quite a stockpile of oxygen and hydrogen in the AE system right now. Nowhere nearly enough to have capacity problems, of course, since it's all going in these resonant portable tanks. But I'm probably pushing 20 tanks full of hydrogen at this point. It's quite a bit. Some of it is being used by this apparatus that's in front of me. This is making the HDPE, or high density polyethylene, that's plastic that's needed for making the yellorium fuel rods for big reactors. And so what happens here is hydrogen comes in here as a liquid, is converted into a gas, and goes into the pressurized reaction chamber, where it is combined with water and biofuel being made upstairs from rotten flesh at this time. It would be more efficient to make it from wheat, but I have no use whatsoever for rotten flesh, so I'm just making it with rotten flesh. That produces ethylene and substrate. And you can sort of see the substrate flash in there just briefly every once in a while. It's a little round pellet. There you go. Now the ethylene is a gas, and I could liquefy it and I could store it in the AE system, but as nearly as I can tell, it has no use whatsoever except to make these HDPE pellets. If I find out otherwise at some point, then I'll have to rework this a little bit, but for now I'm just shipping the ethylene directly over to be made into a liquid, and then it's going straight into a pressurized reaction chamber to finish the second step of the HDPE process, which is to take liquid ethylene and gaseous oxygen, combine them with substrate to produce HDPE pellets. This also produces oxygen that has to be disposed of as a byproduct as well. I'm actually just routing it back to the beginning of the process. It would be nice to actually just route it straight back into this machine, but I couldn't find a great way to do that at this point, and it's not that important. The oxygen itself is actually coming from resonant portable tanks again out of the AE system. It's coming in as a liquid in the tanks being converted into a gas in this rotary condensator, in the opposite direction of how it was condensed into a liquid in the first place, and just goes straight here into the pressurized reaction chamber. So it's a fairly complicated build to get all that stuff going, but I have been accumulating quite a bit of HDPE at this point. I'm not sure how much I'm going to need. It's used for a couple of things besides the big reactors components. It's also used quite extensively in the Galacticraft crafting recipes in Titan mode. I went and looked at it quite a bit. It looks like I'm going to need a fair amount of it. I will probably still shut down this machine once I've got a couple thousand sheets and just leave it sitting here just in case I need some more at some point, because I don't see any reason to create an indefinite amount of it. I am eventually going to need hydrogen and oxygen for metals processing, And while I've got plenty of it at this point, I think that's probably going to be how I should really sort of reserve the materials. Okay, so with that out of the way, I think we can make some major breakthroughs on quest progress today. And the reason I think that is because I had a closer look at a couple of things in the quest book that I think will be very interesting. Now, first of all, in Zeta, this quest that's done actually was completed in the last episode. It was to make the upgrade tokens. I just happened not to notice that it was done before I closed out the episode. But it's interesting that having completed that opens up Power Armor Mark II, which I've looked at the recipes for and is actually going to be very easy to make. And when I was looking at the Power Armor Mark II, the battle suit helmet, for example, and I came over here and looked at what you make with it, and it turns out that you make the Wyvern helm with it. And if we look at the quest itself, we see that it opens 2 quests elsewhere, one of which is probably just decrementing the final quest, but the other one has to be something else. And it looks like since it's used to make the Draconium or the Wyvern armor, I'm thinking this will open the Draconic Evolution chapter. I think it's a little silly that you have to go this far to open that chapter because it's actually very easy to start doing Draconic Evolution at this point. But having said that, I have high hopes for this. Once we get Draconic Evolution open, I think the path through the Avaritia and the Project E is fairly obvious from there. So I'm hoping that we can make some good progress here. I don't believe all the progress is going to be spent slaving over a crafting table. I think we're going to have to go and do a ritual in the end in this episode. I hope we have time for that. To make sure that we have time for it, let's get started right away. First, I'm going to go ahead and accept this reward. Don't need that. Alright, now next I've got to make the Power Armor Mark II, which is this battle suit stuff. And there are actually 2 different pieces of it. One is, like if we look at the helmet here, there's this helmet that's the battle suit helmet, and then there's this other one called battle suit helmet that has capability visibility. It's the glowy enchanted ones that we're wanting here. So let's take a look at this. This one requires, let's see, I'm going to need upgrade tokens and a spider eye. I know I set up the recipe for upgrade tokens, so let's just go ahead and make 4 of those. 4 more of them. Oh, I'm out of mana diamonds. Okay, let me make some mana diamonds and I'll be right back. Okay, I made my 16 blocks of mana diamonds. I don't think I need 16 of them here, but let me go ahead and make my 4 tokens. Hopefully I will have a few spare blocks of them. Okay, so battlesuit helmet requires that plus the helmet that I'm wearing. And just take all of this out of here. Because it's charged, I'm not going to put it in the system and hope to combine it that way. I'm going to do it the manual way and just sort of hope that we can get this to work. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that at this terminal. So, here we go. No more false starts, hopefully. And the chest plate is that and a feather. These are all actually very easy if you have those tokens available. So now we've got that, and the boots are the only piece left. So now we have the full set. And that should finish that quest. We got a legendary reward bag, which has a draconic chest. It's a pretty nice chest, although since I have the AE system now, maybe I don't need it quite as much. It would have been very useful earlier, still probably not too bad. But I'm just going to go ahead and tuck it away in here and put my armor back on. I look very shielded. Okay, did that open up what I hope it opened up? Lambda is open. In fact, 2 quests are already completed in it. The getting Draconium ingots. I've got thousands and thousands of them now, so that's no big surprise. And Reapers, I've certainly got more than 4 mob souls, so let's get that as well. Look at all those enchantments I have. I guess that comes from the armor. Okay, a basic bin and Aristotle. Don't need those. Okay, next on the progress, I know that to make the Avaritia table, we're going to need awakened cores. And for awakened cores, I'm going to need to complete this line going off to the right here, but I'm also going to have to complete the awakening ritual. So let's go ahead and start with the charged draconium blocks and the draconic cores. That's what needs to be on there. And draconium cores. What are those things actually called? Draconic cores. So there we go, draconic core. Relatively simple, some diamonds, some draconium, gold ingots. Nothing I don't have plenty of already. Let me check and see if that is a detection or a crafting quest. It's detection, so I can just go ahead and actually probably just make a whole stack of them here. And this is kind of the hard way to do it because I'm in the wrong terminal, but I do need to go ahead and do the recipe as well. So there we go. Alright, next is charged draconium blocks. And that is just draconium blocks, I think, that have been charged in... They will charge in my inventory because of the wireless. But that's going to be the slow way to charge them. I can just put them in this vibrant capacitor bank over here to charge them much more quickly. And this bank, because it's souped up, holds 500 million RF, so it should charge them up with the capacity that it's got here, because it only takes like 100 million to fill them up. So there's 2. There's 3. I wonder how quickly this will refill. I've got both of those diesel generators running downstairs. So it looks like they're filling at 180,000 RF per tick, which is probably about as fast as it can fill over the network there. So I think that completes this one. Let's go ahead and claim the reward. And I also got the charged one because it involved making 4 charged draconium blocks all by itself. And I've completed the draconic core. So these are just sort of falling left and right. Let's see what we got here. Epic, basic, and good. Epic was some kind of armor. Floating diamond chestplate of healing. Heals the player when equipped. Allows sneaking on air when equipped. I'm going to put that away. I might look at it a little closer later. Basic. Dirt chest. And good is fuel efficiency upgrade. Both about equally useful at this point. Hey, the dirt chest has 71 EMC. Okay, for the ritual, I'm going to need 16 of those. I'm also going to need... What else does it say here? The heart and some TNT. And I got the heart when I killed the Ender Dragon earlier. And TNT, I made a long time ago. I don't actually have any on hand right now, and I don't have the recipe set up for it. So let's set up the recipe for it. This one involves electrical steel in Titan mode, electrical steel and gunpowder. So get one of those. And I guess before I go over there, let's go ahead and put these back, because the next one is going to be to complete Weavern cores. And I don't know how many Weavern cores I'm going to need. It should tell me, let's see, 4. It's a crafting task, so I need to do them sort of one at a time here. I'll go ahead and make the recipe, but 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hopefully that got me credit for all of them. It did. So I got a greater reward bag with an item dislocator. Okay. Don't need those on me right now. And let's put this recipe away. Let's head off to the end. Oh, I am going to need one other thing. Let's get a stone button. I need some way to activate the TNT, and I'm not going to try and do it by hand. So we'll just munch on the cake. And here we are in the end. Now, there are lots of Endermen around. I don't think they're going to bother me as long as I can avoid looking directly at them. So let's just take and put down the TNT. And I'll put the heart down right on top of it. Now come over here and put the button down. I picked up the heart right away. One of the problems with this armor apparently is that it does have... Is this button not going to put down that way? Oh. I hate the visual distortion on any sort of acceleration buff. It's just very aggravating. I wonder if it can be turned off. That is caused by the boots, which have momentum. Can we... No, that just re-equips them. I'll have to research that and see if it can be turned off. That's pretty annoying from my perspective at least. I should probably get rid of the ring of magnetization too. That is not going to be helping. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to blow up the heart. And when we blow it up, I will then throw down the draconic cores and place nearby the charged draconium blocks. That's all there is to it. We just wait for things to blow up, and we should be done at that point. Okay, so we'll place those. Then I'll come over here and place these. And we should see plenty of particles streaming into those blocks. The bottleneck on this particular process is getting the heart, since you have to kill a dragon for each one of them. But it looks like we're okay now. We have awakened draconium blocks here, which I can just mine up. So there we go. We got 4 of them. And that should have completed. This one was already done. Okay, it's not going to complete a quest, the fact that we got them, but we will be able to come over here and make our awakened cores. So let me go back to the overworld, and we'll slave over a hot crafting table a little more. Okay, back in the overworld, I converted my blocks into ingots. This recipe requires ingots, so we're okay there. Let's go ahead and set up the recipe for the awakened core. It's just like that. Did I already have some of those ingots in the system? It's funny that oh, it caught them out of my inventory. I understand now. Alright, so we'll go ahead and encode that pattern. Just like so. And this is a crafting task, so I will have to pull them out of the table itself. I'm going to have to make some more of these. I think I need another 12 of them. Okay. Let's check and see that we got credit. We did. Epic reward bag. A liquid compressor. Not exactly epic, but I can probably put it to use at some point. Okay, so we've got the awakened cores done. Let's see if that opened up what I hope it did, because I'm hoping that did open up the Avaritia chapter. And it did. Every chapter is now open except for the final one. And this one's pretty bad. However, I think we can go ahead and do the first two quests in this one and get the dire crafting table, which is what we need to progress in Project E at this point. So, let's look at the first one. The first one involves making one crystal matrix ingot, which is diamond lattices and nether stars. So diamond lattice is just some diamonds like that. And I will toss one of those in there. We'll go back up here, and there's our crystal matrix ingot. I'll get that recipe, even though I need to leave it there for just a minute. And I'll consolidate these all into one pile. Okay, so I need how many of these? Just one. It's a detection task even, so I didn't really need to do it that way. Okay, so we've got one of them. That will finish that. Epic reward bag with not especially epic stuff in it. Okay. Now we want to make the dire crafting table. That's the next quest on the line. So that's this one right here. And this one is made in the assembly table and requires 8 million RF, which in the grand scheme of things is not as bad as it could be. I'm going to have to make one of these double compressed crafting tables and 8 of the crystal matrix ingots. And I've got my 4 cores already sitting in my inventory, so let's go ahead and crystal. So there's one. Tell it to make 7 more. Great. So we got those. Now, I think that let's go back over here. Double compressed crafting table, I think, is just a block of crafting tables made out of a block of crafting tables. So I need 81 crafting tables. So 81, we'll just tell it to get started here. So I'll lay them out, and as soon as it's got 81, which it just did, I'll pull 9 of these out of here. And I am not going to set this up as a recipe because I'm not sure that I will ever need more than one dire crafting table. I guess if I find myself working on multiple ones at once, then it might be convenient to have multiples so that I can sort of have them in progress, because there's a lot of things that go into these recipes. But I also think I can probably just take and put the supplies in a chest until I'm ready to transfer them over. So there's the double compressed crafting table. We got our awakened cores. Let's go down here to the mini lasers. Okay, so I need to yank all of this stuff out and go ahead and put these supplies in, and we'll get this one started. And it looks like it's coming along okay. There was already some energy in the table though. I'll just rearrange this so that it'll be easy to pop back in there when this is done. So I'm going to cut and I'll be back when this is finished. Okay, our dire crafting table has popped out of the chest. Let me take that and run back upstairs with it. I adjusted the field of view just a little bit to see if maybe I could get rid of some of that distortion. It does seem to have helped just a little. I might have to adjust it some more. Then I'll just adjust it again whenever. So that's what it looks like inside. This is one crafting table consisting of a 9 by 9 grid, so you have up to 81 components in a single crafting. It didn't detect it, however, so let me pick it back up. Okay. So we just got credit for it. Pick a reward bag. Got a full heart. It's not rotten. Always got to check that first. A legendary reward bag with a bin. It's an elite bin, but it's still not exactly what I would call legendary. I think I'll put this over here. Actually, maybe, well, I can't pick it up that way. All right. So what does that leave here? Well, neutron collection is next, so we need to make a neutron collector here. I'm obviously going to have to be accumulating some materials. Actually, this stuff doesn't look too bad. I'm not going to make it right now because I don't want to have to start worrying about running out of nether stars just yet. The very next objective is to get the Philosopher's Stone and get started on Project E. So I think that is going to go ahead and wrap it up for this episode. Hopefully I'll be ready to make some progress on this next episode. I can see I'm going to have to do a little work on applied energistics and assembling some of these components. I will just assemble them in the table there and then do another analysis. It looks like I've got to finish the spatial component quests on the AE page too. So I will see you next episode. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, comment, or share. And again, go out there and enjoy yourself playing Minecraft. That's what this game is. It's Minecraft. Later.